Hi there. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for All Missouri Students, sponsored by the Missouri Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions that is being hosted, so please check out the moacac.org website for additional sessions and to register. Also, this presentation is being recorded, as well as all of the other presentations. So about a week after the presentation, the sessions that are recorded will be available for view on the MOACAC website. And at that, I'm going to turn it over to our presenters.
Abby, you're muted.
I want to thank everybody for joining Webster's session. We are extremely excited to have you guys. Hopefully you can see my presentation here. If my co-presenters can just give me a thumbs up so I know that they're seeing what I'm seeing. Cool. Webster is really excited to have everyone here, and we just want to thank you for spending some time with us. Hopefully we can take the next 30, 45 minutes or so to get to know each other a little bit. We certainly have plenty of things to share about Webster, and we really hope that you'll ask us some questions at the end. We're probably going to save our questions till the end if you guys are okay with that. That way we can take as much time as we need to answer them. Our presentation shouldn't last more than about 20 minutes or so, giving us plenty of opportunity to kind of have that Q&A time. With that being said, those of you who might not be that familiar with Webster, we are a small school located in Webster Groves, Missouri, so just outside of the downtown St. Louis area. We're about 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis. Webster is in the midst of our school year now, taking our COVID-19 precautions very seriously. Something that we've really appreciated about our students this year is that they are following mask mandates, giving them as normal of an experience as possible. Our dorms are full, and our students are remaining very safe, keeping our numbers, at bay. So we are, doing many things virtually to keep our current student body as safe as possible. So we're excited to join you guys virtually tonight. My name is Abby Depew. I am one of our associate directors in the admission office. With me, I have Elemuel Harris and Alyssa Lease, both first-time freshman admission counselors. They represent different territories in the St. Louis region. So some of you may be working with Elemuel, others of you will be working with Alyssa. We also have a few other counselors in our office. So the three of us are going to present some information to you tonight, and again, get to know you a little bit at the end as well. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Alyssa, who's going to share some academic information with you.
All right, thanks, Abby. So hi, everyone. Just wanted to thank you again for joining us tonight. So kind of, Abby touched a little bit on it, but Webster is a four-year nonprofit liberal arts university. So we've got around 2,400 undergraduate students on campus. So I always like to say we're kind of on the smaller side of medium. But because of this, it's really nice. For every 9 students on campus, we do have 1 professor. So we cap our classes at around 25. So you're never going to have more than 25 students in your class, which means no lecture halls. Your professors are going to know your name, kind of all that fun stuff. And then also because of our smaller size, it does give us the opportunity to have our students work in a more hands-on environment. So we always like to say, if you're a film major, your first semester on campus, you're going to get your hands on a camera. Same with if you're an art major, you're going to be painting or this and that. So that's all kind of part of something that we have called the Global Citizenship Program. And through the Global Citizenship Program, it kind of gives you the freedom to make your own kind of personalized schedule. So for instance, our art majors probably won't need like a Bio 101 kind of class. But because of the Global Citizenship Program and being able to kind of manipulate around that, you can take psychology of sleep. So just to it's kind of fun to play around with it. The Global Citizenship Program is definitely something that Webster champions. And then another kind of fun example that I like to give with that is public speaking is a really popular class that a lot of universities make you take, but at Webster you can actually fulfill that through photography, which I think is really awesome. Yeah, we can scroll down a little bit. And then also through that Global Citizenship Program, you can kind of get into your major a little bit quicker. So if you We always kind of say our students should be in 2 global citizenship programs, aka 2 general education programs, or 2 classes, and then also 2 classes in your major and then 1 elective. So because you are in 2 classes in your major, it does give you, as a freshman, it does give you kind of an opportunity to see if that is the right major for you, or maybe you're in between 2 majors. So you take a class in 1 major and then you can take a class in the other major that you're interested. So it allows you to get your feet wet, kind of decide if a major is for you, maybe not. It also gives you time to pick up a minor, maybe if you find a class that you're a little bit interested in, but don't want to fully commit to majoring in it. So through that program, we can also help you do that. And then we have over 100 different majors in 5 different schools on our campus. Something really cool with our different schools that we have, and it's a good thing to look out for other schools that you're applying to. Just something that comes to mind is graphic design is actually, at a lot of schools, it's a business major, but here it's actually housed in our School of Fine Arts. So that could probably tell you that it's going to be a little bit more art oriented than business. So just something cool to kind of look out for when you're looking at the different schools within a college. And then our professors, gotta love them. They're great. I think that it's a really cool opportunity because we're smaller. You get to know your professors really well. They get to know you really well. You're not just a number here, you're a name and who you are, and they want to know why you missed class on Friday, or they want to ask you, what happened on that quiz. I thought you knew this information. They work really well with you. We have another coworker, Abby is actually an alum of Webster, but we have another coworker who is also an alum, and she's another counselor, and sometimes her and I will just be walking through the hall and we'll see a professor and he'll say, hi, good to see you. And I'm like, you graduated so long ago, how do they remember you? But you just kind of build those relationships with them, and it's a really cool experience at Webster, and they are always available to work with you and everything like that as well. Definitely just want to help you out. And then moving on to campus life, the fun stuff when you're a new college student especially. We have over 80 clubs and organizations for our students to join. There's everything from Quidditch. If you're a Harry Potter fan, we have physical Quidditch. There's drama clubs, there's language clubs, there's intramurals if you're into sports but don't want to do the whole D3 thing, which Abby will kind of touch on a little bit. So yeah, lots of opportunities, lots of events on campus. One of the last events that I can remember was we had puppies on campus for finals. It's like a stress reliever. They do paint me pottery trips together as a freshman class. So there's lots of stuff going on to help get you up, get you involved. We like to say there's something for everybody.
Yeah, as Lissa mentioned, I am an alum of Webster. I should have mentioned that earlier. For the purposes of Q&A, if there's any specific questions anyone has regarding my student experience, I'm happy to answer those questions at the end here. But I also played for the women's soccer team as a part of my experience at Webster. So not only was I participating in typical, on-campus events, I tended to participate in a lot of academic centered events. So I was an English major. I was spending a lot of time working with classmates on different literary type of clubs. A lot of my time though was dedicated to being an NCAA Division III athlete. Webster has 16 teams overall. Men's sports listed here. We do have a co-ed cheerleading squad, so you'll see cheerleading on our list twice here. Webster is a member of the SLIAC, or the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. Our teams have seen a lot of success. We have, over 79 combined league championships. So that means our student athletes have won the SLIAC 79 times combined. And our teams have competed in the NCAA tournament, making 68 appearances in our short history. We've only been around since the 80s, so it's been pretty impressive. In the 4 years that I was on the women's soccer team, we competed in the national tournament 3 times. So it's super exciting, just a thing to be a part of. And if you are not a student athlete yourself, cheering for the Gorlocks, that's something that I would encourage every student, regardless if you're a Webster student or any college student, support your athletics. It's a great way to meet other people. We can't wait for things to go back to normal, as we've all been saying for the last 7 or 8 months here. But truly, what we are excited for is to have students back on campus, and to have athletic events and Quidditch club and pottery painting and all the things Alyssa mentioned as well. So you can find a lot more information on the specific athletic website if you go to websterathletics.com. You can fill out a athletic specific questionnaire to get in touch with our coaches. If you have specific questions about the recruitment process, anything like that, most of that can be answered on the website. You can also ask me later on in the presentation. I'd be interested in hearing from you. I'm going to let Lemuel talk to us a little bit about our student housing.
So thanks so much, Abby. So next, I'll just talk a little bit about on-campus housing and what that looks like for incoming freshmen and incoming freshman class. So at the present moment, about 66% of our incoming freshmen do live on campus. What we have for our students who are incoming, excuse me, is 2 residence halls. One is Maria Hall, and one is also West Hall. So these housing suites, they are suite style living. So basically how they're set up, 2 individuals live in a space together, 2 individuals of the same sex share one side of the space, and then 2 individuals of the same sex live on the other side of the housing unit, and then they share one bathroom in the middle. So it's a suite with 4 individuals sharing a space, and then a shared bathroom in the middle. Again, these are very modern, very comfortable housing units. Typically, students who live 35 miles outside of the Webster University radius are required to live on campus. But with that being said, students who live closer to the city as well are also recommended and also able to live on campus as well. And so if students desire, who are from St. Louis, Missouri, desire to live on campus, they do have that opportunity as well. But all students who live outside of the 35-mile radius are required to live on campus for at least 2 years. Okay. In terms of roommate assignments, so typically if students have a general idea of who they want to be paired with, they are able to just identify that student who they desire to live with by their ID number, which they're assigned upon being admitted into the university. Otherwise, we do utilize a questionnaire of which students answer a number of different questions to assist with pairing individuals in terms of rooming assignments. And so you'll find that typically students who answer similarly on their questionnaire will be paired together. So you'll never, if you're an individual who prefers warmer temperatures, a warmer climate in the household, you'll never be paired with an individual who prefers a colder climate, you know, with air on all the time. And so we always do our very best to ensure that students are paired together as close to perfect as possible. Okay, you guys, so you don't have to fret about being assigned with a roommate that you might not quite agree with in terms of a number of various different reasons. We try to do our very best to ensure that the best students are paired together in terms of housing. Another benefit to living on campus, which I think all of your parents will appreciate as well, is the free laundry. Of course, students have the ability to do their laundry on campus completely free at no additional cost. It's actually included in your tuition dollars. And so you are able to also wash as well as dry on campus as well. So as you all may or may not know, Webster University is a globally prominent university. So we are located across the globe on 4 of the 7 continents. I always like to brag about our study abroad program because it's actually one of the best, I would not only say nationally, but internationally as well. So Webster University is located on 4 of the 7 continents, which means there are a plethora of opportunities for you all as students who are interested in pairing your education with a study abroad experience and getting some international travel experience under your belt while you're getting your education. It's certainly an opportunity that you can take advantage of here at Webster University. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we are located on 4 of the 7 continents. We have campuses, as you can see identified on the screen right now. We have a campus in Athens, Greece. We have a campus in Vienna, Austria, a campus in Shanghai, China, a campus in Accra, Ghana, of course, the campus here in Webster Groves, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, and then Chiang and Bangkok, Thailand, as well as Geneva, Switzerland. And so if any of those places ever piqued your interest, you thought, hey, I think I might want to travel abroad and go to such and such place, but I don't think I'll ever have the opportunity. Well, the opportunity is presenting itself now. I always try to encourage students to take advantage of the study abroad opportunity because I won't say it's once in a lifetime because you can always travel after school as well, but it's certainly a great opportunity to get more bang for your buck, considering the fact that it's actually included in your tuition. So you don't pay any more than you would traditionally pay here at the St. Louis, Missouri location to travel abroad to one of these other Webster campuses. And there's no fret, all of your credits and everything will transfer with you. Even your financial aid package looks exactly the same. So your scholarships, your grants, your loans, all of that will travel to all of these other Webster Groves or all of these other Webster University campuses as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we are located on 4 of the 7 continents, and our students do study abroad in 19 different destinations. So if none of these locations actually spark your interest, you've never thought about going to any of these places, we do have a number of other destinations that aren't quite Webster campuses, but are our partners where our students also study abroad as well. So there's tons of opportunity to take advantage of study abroad. And if you're thought about studying abroad, right now would be the perfect opportunity to do so.
Thanks, Lemuel. And one more thing that I don't think mentioned is that as a part of the World Traveler Program, your airfare round trip is paid for. So one more perk of studying abroad at Webster. I can tell you that in my time as a student, that was one of the things I did not do. And it's a major regret of mine. I definitely wish I had taken advantage of the opportunity, because now I'd have to not only pay for my trip abroad, I'd have to take time off work. And, you know, there's a lot of life responsibilities that come up after college. So do it while you can, and definitely think about it as you're, you know, preparing for college in the next couple months here. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about sort of next steps. As we move through, you know, your senior year, you're going to be visiting schools and taking advantage of virtual tours and sessions like this, but soon, if you haven't already, it will be the time to apply. Webster, there is no harm in applying because it is free. As I tell students all the time, applying to college is not a commitment to that college. It is simply giving you the opportunity to go there. With Webster, as I mentioned, our application is free. We accept 3 types of application. We have our typical online application, which is available through our webpage, applywu.webster.edu. We'll take you there. You can also use the College Coalition application, as well as the Common application. My general advice to students is, if you are not familiar with the Coalition or the Common application, ask your guidance counselor. Many times they have a preference how you apply to a college because they're the ones sending your transcripts. So don't hesitate, ask them the questions and they should be able to kind of give you the answers there. We don't care which one you use, we'll accept any of the 3. New to our application this year is going to be a test optional application. And so on your application for admission, you'll be asked if you would like Webster to consider your ACT or SAT scores. What we will require, regardless of if you're test optional or not, is your transcript. So you can upload your transcript through your online application portal. You can have your guidance counselor email it to us. You will have instruction with your application. Once you submit it, you'll get lots of information responded through your email saying, here's how you finish your process. The typical student at Webster comes in with about a 3.5 GPA, and our average ACT score is going to be about a 25. Again, being test optional, we're going to encourage students to apply in the manner that best suits them. So we know that lots of students are fantastic in the classroom. Their GPA is very strong, but they're not the best standardized testers. If that was the case for you, you should plan to apply as test optional. My general advice to students is, don't apply with your test scores unless it's going to benefit your application for admission. Even students who apply without their test scores will be considered for academic scholarship. Those scholarships can be worth up to $18,000 at the time of admission. Those who are interested in applying to our fine arts program, whether that be performance art or visual art, it's kind of a 2-step process for you. You'll be required to go through an audition or portfolio review in addition to the academic admission to the university. I do also want to mention that if you haven't already, visit us. So we will be hosting our virtual Webster Week events, which will be sort of like this, kind of like an open house event. We will have kind of a main event every one Saturday a month between now and December. And then the week following those events will be specific to the colleges and schools that Alyssa referred to earlier. So if you are interested in a major within the School of Communications, you would want to attend whatever night that is being hosted. I believe School of Communications will be hosted on a Tuesday night, once a week each month coming up this fall. So more information can be found at webster.edu/visit. All right, we mentioned scholarships. Let's talk a little bit more about that. This page has a lot of information. If you would like, we can send you this presentation after the fact. I know they mentioned this is being recorded as well, so you'll be able to refer to this later on. And all of this information is on our website. If you refer to our admissions website, you'll be able to see that there. But some important things to know about Webster is that, first and foremost, all of our students who are admitted to the university are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships. I mentioned before the scholarships are worth up to $18,000. So automatically you would be considered for one of the four mentioned here. Also, we're going to consider you for need-based financial aid using your FAFSA. We are, let's see, a week or so away from October 1st, which means the FAFSA will be available to you and your family. About almost 97% of our student body is eligible for some form of financial aid. In addition to federal and state funding, Webster University ourselves is going to consider you for additional need-based financial aid in the form of grant and perhaps additional scholarship. You will see our tuition and fees mentioned here. Students who are living on campus will incur that room and board fee of $11,200. That does include the meal plan and that laundry that Lemuel mentioned before. And then our tuition rates are mentioned right above that. Conservatory theater students are subjected to the $33,100 tuition rate. A few other quick scholarships I do want to point out. Students in the state of Missouri who are participating in the A+ program and will have finished their 50 tutoring hours this year will be eligible for the $1,000 additional scholarship. So that is stackable with your merit-based scholarship. Those participating and who have completed the either girls or boys state program, again, another $1,000. If any of your parents are an alum of Webster, so mom or dad, step parent, also a $1,000 scholarship there. And then the Proud to Serve scholarship would be for anyone with parent who is active duty or retired military. So all of those scholarships are stackable there with your merit-based scholarship as well. Finally, I do want to mention some competitive scholarship information. So these scholarships mentioned here would require submission of your ECT scores. The Leadership Scholarship is awarded to typically about 15 students every year. Big part of these scholarships are going to be leadership demonstrated in your high school setting. So if you're involved in any clubs, are you volunteering in your community? A+ tutoring hours, those are important to us. So as I tell students all the time, your college application is your time to brag about yourself. So take the opportunity, come up with, a resume, if you will, of all of your achievements over the last 3.5 or so years now, and let us know about that, because leadership scholarships worth $2,000 are stackable and renewable for 4 years. The Chancellor's Scholarship is awarded to 5 students every year. We're looking for those with at least a 27 on the ACT, a 3.75 weighted GPA, and or in the top 20% of their class. That's going to cover full tuition, so that's a great opportunity for those students. And then of course we have the SUG Scholarship, which is awarded to those students who meet the academic eligibility, and live in the St. Louis metro area. That scholarship is specific to our minority students there. Again, full tuition, typically awarded to about 10 students every year. So we do want to see these applications. We know that you guys have been doing great things for the last, as I mentioned, 3.5 or so years. And we look forward to that continuing here on our campus as well. Finally, just some quick contact information for our office. Again, webster.edu/visit is going to get you almost all of the information you need to get a hold of any one of us. When you apply, you'll be hearing directly from your admission counselor. So if you have already applied, you probably have received some contact from us already. But we look forward to working with you guys as this year progresses. With that, I'd like to again thank you all for joining us, and I'd like to open it up for some questions. So if there are any questions you have, don't hesitate to throw them into the Q&A there. We're going to keep an eye out for them as they come in here. I think Lemuel is going to kind of monitor that for us so that we can answer those questions as they come up.
Awesome. So a question did come in, Abby. So I have a student here asking, what type of academic resources does the university provide for the student?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Academic Resource Center, kind of simply named, is going to be the first place to go for to see, what type of support you can receive. Our Academic Resource Center is available to students for tutoring, both from professional staff as well as peer tutors. We are also going to see writing center support, simply study hall hours. What I love about the Academic Resource Center is that they're conveniently located right outside of Marletto's Marketplace, which is our main cafeteria on campus. So it's not uncommon to see a student, walk through the line, grab a tray of food, get their lunch, and then walk right into the Academic Resource Center so that they can do some dedicated study time kind of while they're eating their lunch, taking advantage of that little bit of a break time. Academic Resource Center tutors, writing center, as I mentioned, the testing center is located in there as well. All of that is free. It is, again, included with that tuition. So definitely take advantage of it. It's again, an opportunity to just support yourself when you need it.
Awesome. So I do see another question is wrote in. What is the scholarship rate for sports scholarships?
Yeah, NCAA Division III means that student athletes are not eligible for athletic scholarships. So Webster University students and all Division III students are attending their universities or colleges on merit scholarships only. So no specific athletic or talent-based scholarships at Webster.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that, Abby. Does Webster University have programs for students who are undecided? Great question.
Yes, so kind of I was touching on that a little bit with the kind of global citizenship program that definitely helps students who are undecided come in as undecided majors and start taking classes in different places, in different schools, in different areas, and see kind of what might work best for them and explore different options. So we have plenty of undecided majors on campus and really great programs and working with your advisor and everything to just kind of help you narrow those choices down and essentially pick one for the end.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer, Alyssa. So we have another question here from another student. I will possibly be attending the school in Geneva. What are the differences from the American school versus the Swiss school?
Yeah, so to be honest, the admission process will be a little bit different. For those interested in applying directly to one of our international campuses, you do have to contact that campus directly. And so I'm going to do my best to answer the question, but admittedly, we might have to connect you to a different office at a later time. But to tell you, just first and foremost, the university itself is the same. So the classes you are taking, the credits you are earning are Webster University credits, regardless if you're in Geneva, if you're in Thailand, or if you're in Webster Groves. So that's kind of the perk of being a Webster student and being able to kind of travel within the network. A few differences just right off the bat here would be that the Webster University home campus here in Webster Groves is going to have the largest variety of majors. So we offer over 100 different majors here on our campus. Our international locations have a smaller number of majors. So you might find that the major you're looking for may not be offered at that location. So that'll be something to take a look at. But the Geneva campus is going to offer dorms, just like we offer here in St. Louis. They're going to offer academic resource center, a library, coffee lounges, all of the above. So the main thing will be kind of contacting them and understanding the differences for the admission process themselves.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Abby. And then one final question here. When talking about room and board, did you say that each student has to live on campus for at least 2 years? Maybe I heard, okay. So is it actually required to live on campus? Who is required to live on campus for 2 years?
So sorry if you're going to
go ahead.
If you live outside of a 35-mile radius, you are required to live on campus for the first 2 years. But that being said, if you are a local St. Louis student, then within 35 miles, you do not have to. You have the choice whether if you'd like to live at home, live off campus, or live on campus.
And just something I'll add to that is students who are from the St. Louis area who simply have the option to live on campus would be highly recommended that you live on campus for at least a year. It's something that I did. I'm from the St. Louis area. If there's any Hazelwood West students on the call, that's my high school. So those students are not required, but they are encouraged. And like I said, I lived on campus my freshman year, had a really great experience, and then decided I'd be really cool and move off campus into an apartment. And it was fine. I had, a good experience. I loved my roommate. We lived together all 4 years actually, but it was really kind of difficult. We had to pay for our laundry. We had to cook every meal for ourselves because we didn't have the luxury of, the cafeteria or different dining halls on campus. So the experience was just a little bit different. We were a little bit more disconnected from campus than we were when we were freshmen. And so I really encourage it. If you have the option to live on campus, if financially it's an option for your family, we definitely want you to consider it. And keep in mind, there is financial aid, available to students who live on campus. So ideally, we will make it an affordable option for you and your family. I should also mention that students who live off campus, especially those upperclassmen, including our sophomores, many of them are living within 5 minutes of campus. Webster Groves is an extremely residential area, so you're going to find apartments and houses for rent in the neighborhood. So you do kind of have that community feel, even if you are off campus, as an upperclassman. So something to keep in mind as well.
Awesome.
Any other questions that will come in here for us? Alyssa or Lemuel, is there any final thoughts that you guys would like to share before we?
I think just touching it came to mind as you were speaking about like public safety and all that, and Webster Groves, the campus in the area. I think especially for parents like to know that Webster Groves is a super safe neighborhood and area. We have 24/7 public safety. If you're working late at the library and you would like somebody to walk you back to your car or back to your dorm, that is an option for you. And I don't know how many of you guys are from the St. Louis area, but Webster Groves is a super kind of student-based. We have the high school, we have 2 high schools right next to the university. So it's a really student-oriented kind of area, as well as just, there's also a lot of like older retired people. So it's a really kind of safe residential, awesome part of St. Louis.
So, and one more question to roll in, Abby. So
Yeah.
I'll have you answer that first. Would it be possible to obtain a bachelor's in the US and then go obtain a master's in one of the international universities and live there as well?
So possibly. Once again, that would be a question for our graduate admission office. We do have a global master's program that does allow students to travel. I believe it's a 16-month-long program where students are traveling the world. So they're kind of progressing through our different campuses. They may start in Geneva, they take 8 weeks of classes there, then they move to Thailand, and then they move to Leiden, and so on. I'm not extremely familiar with how the admission process for that works. Again, that is going to be through our graduate admission office, so please excuse me for not having that answer at the tip of my tongue, but I guess the short answer would be yes, you could do that, although our true study abroad program is designed simply for undergraduate students, where they would be spending no more than a semester at a time abroad.
Very good, very good. Besides a full scholarship, what is the least amount of money I would have to pay?
That's kind of a tough question to answer. I appreciate you asking that. So, if you were a student who is receiving, let's say, the maximum amount of scholarship, so you're receiving the merit-based $18,000 Webster Gold Scholarship, and you're getting the A+ scholarship, and you also get Alumni Legacy, well, that's $20,000 in merit scholarship alone. So if you're not living on campus and you're just paying tuition, you're bringing your out-of-pocket cost before financial aid down to about $8,500. Because every student is considered for financial aid, based on their individual family's FAFSA. The FAFSA, if you're not familiar, is the free application for federal student aid, which is kind of what the government uses to help determine how much financial need your family has. Every student is eligible for something different. So while we have some students paying very little, we have some who are paying a lot more. So we generally say that our average student owes us about $10,000 per year, tends to be about the average student. So tough to answer your question specifically. That might be something that is worth following up with our admission office on, especially as we get closer to the financial aid season here in October.
And does the university currently offer doctoral degrees?
Yes,
We do
offer.
offer, yeah, doctorate degrees. We all work in the freshman kind of admission office, so we're not as well versed on all of the different ones and kind of what goes into them, but we do offer them here at Webster.
So it looks like that was the final question that came into the question and answer box. Did anyone else have any final questions before we turn it back over? Just try scan.
Yes, so you're asking where can I find all of the counselors on the site? If you visit the webster.edu/admissions page, you should be able to find a link for freshman admissions. Then you will be taken to a map that you can click on your state, your high school, and it should pop up with a beautiful picture of one of us or one of our colleagues who would be assigned to your school. And I do see that question actually that popped in about scholarship. So thank you guys. All of our freshman scholarships are renewable for 4 years. So as long as you remain in good academic standing, you will maintain your A+ scholarship. You will maintain your merit-based scholarship. So those will be renewable all 4 years as long as you're in that good academic standing. So thank you for asking. All right, give them another second here.
That was a ton of great questions. Thank you guys so much for sending those questions, and we greatly appreciate it.
All right, do you guys think that's it?
I think so. Like we said before, if anyone has any questions, visit that webster.edu/visit, and we'd love to reconnect with you individually or through one of our Webster Preview Day week-long topics.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank everybody for joining us. When you close this window, you will be directed to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you have. Just remember, this is one of many sessions, so go back to that MOACAC website and look at all the other session options and sign up and register for another one. And in about a week, you'll be able to access the recording of this video. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.